Well, it has been quite some time since I have showed up live on LinkedIn. And actually, today is the last day for the series I was doing actually last month. But to be honest, I had to take a break. I was really feeling exhausted. And it kind of took me just a little bit of energy of a push just to even finish up today. But I'm here right now. We are going to be talking about monetization on LinkedIn, how you can actually take advantage or position your business yourself on how to monetize on LinkedIn. And it's not the way that people are actually, some influencers are telling you how to do it, especially if you are really building a legitimate business. It takes a lot of time. And that's something that I stress, all the time. It takes a lot of time to begin to monetize on LinkedIn. It's kind of a roundabout way of monetizing on LinkedIn. So today, again, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. What's the real truth on how to monetize on LinkedIn? And it's some things that, people are really not sharing. They're not being really, transparent about. But I'm going to give you my truth on what it takes to actually monetize on LinkedIn. And sometimes it will take you quite a long, maybe 1 or 2 years. It just depends upon what services you have to offer and what you're bringing to the table. But in reality, it will take you quite some time to monetize on LinkedIn because you have to figure out, what your offer is. You have to have a clear call to action. You have to have a clear language that's speaking to your ideal B2B client. And that's what we're focusing on today. Okay, I actually have notes and I will go ahead and introduce myself. I have some new followers and make a comment in the comment section and let me know where you're from, what you're wanting to do, and if you are looking to monetize on LinkedIn, I can show you how to do that. Anyway, my name is Alicia Moore. I am the CEO of Clinical Science Research Solutions. Oh, this is crazy. Clinical Science Research Solutions, and I'm also the executive director for I Am Research and Wellness Foundation. I started my business in 2023, and then I launched the nonprofit organization as of February 2025. We actually had our first online conference, virtual conference, in October that went very well. Right now, I'm looking to build up my YouTube content for the IM page, YouTube page, and it's fresh, it's new. I have a marketing team. We're all working on those initiatives, and we're also working on building out the LinkedIn page and website so we can start driving traffic and building up the content for the nonprofit organization. And again, same thing for my for-profit organization, CSRS. Just building the platform and letting people know, like, hey, this is what we have to offer. This is what we're doing in a region where clinical research doesn't exist. So again, I have some new followers. And if you don't know me, now you have a little bit of a snippet of what I am doing in the Southeast region. And that's actually building up a strong foundation of clinical research. So people in this area can be aware of it, learn how to enter the industry, gain jobs, knowledge, volunteer, etc. Okay. As I mentioned before, I do have some notes. And I also want to say everything that I do, especially whenever I go live, it is raw. It's not edited or anything like that. Now, whenever you go to like my regular YouTube account, not underneath the live section, but the regular videos, those are edited in a way. But what you see is what you get right here. Okay. Monetization on LinkedIn is not a feature, it's a perception. At one point, if I'm not mistaken, I think LinkedIn will start rewarding content creators, monetizing them for the content that they create. And really, it does depend upon the algorithm and the type of content you're wanting to talk about, and if the audience you are targeting, if they're actually tapping into what you're saying and it's converting over into views and likes and shares and people actually going into your DMs wanting your services. So whenever we talk about monetization in that sense, that's whenever you need to really focus on, okay, building up the content so you can start converting your B2B clients into them paying clients, right? You actually get paid for your expertise. You don't get paid just to laugh and joke, not unless you are a comedian of some sort. But if you are in a position like I am, people want to know and be educated on what's going on in the industry, or how to start a business, or how to get this particular certification so you can, have more exposure to government contracts, or how to partner with multi-million dollar industry tech vendors so you can have, access to their clients because, you created a service that's, what I can't think, that is actually solving a pain point for them. That's how you're able to use LinkedIn as your driving force to help you monetize. Because again, having a strong digital footprint in the year 2025 and then moving into 2026 is so important to have a strong digital footprint. So whenever you get ready to partner with these organizations, tech vendors, or companies, they can actually look at your LinkedIn profile, your post and page, and see that you're a real person and see that you actually know what you're talking about. And whatever you're talking about, whatever your services are, they can stumble across you and say, oh, you know what? I didn't know you existed. And so they can say, hey, you know what? Let's talk. Let's schedule a meeting. And the important thing is having people going into your DMs and requesting for your services. Executives, you don't necessarily get paid for views, not the way you do on, I guess, TikTok or YouTube. And as a matter of fact, it's probably best to start a YouTube channel too, because those metrics, they do matter. You get paid for the type of contract that you have and the clarity that is within the contract. It's the partnerships, it's the consulting, advisory roles. If you're offering like B2B training, corporate training, program enrollments, say for instance, if you have an academy, or if you have like some kind of, I'll say, site ownership program that you can enroll individuals into your program, and you're talking about how you're starting a site, or what it takes to start a site on social media, on LinkedIn, then that program your content is going to be the driving force for your clients to reach out to you and enroll in your program. So indirectly, in some ways, that's how you're monetizing on LinkedIn. Whenever you are actually showing up on LinkedIn and creating educational content and not just talking about things that are not really relevant, you will be invited to speaking engagements. And then at some point, you're going to start receiving sponsorships. And whenever I talk about speaking engagements, that initially they will be free, but eventually later on down the line, you can set it up. Or maybe your business model is to get paid to go to speaking engagements. That can be your whole deal, your whole business. As an entrepreneur in the clinical research space, you're actually getting paid to go speak, or you're creating webinars so people can come listen to you talk about a topic that is going to help them get from point A to B. And it's on a topic that is a pain point in the industry, and that you're seeing like many people struggling with it on the internet. And it's something that you're really great in, not just good, but you're great in. And you're able to take them from point A to B a lot quicker because you've been down that road before. You've got the experience, because what people are looking for is a transformation. They're not looking for just coach. Well, coach me, teach me. So the transformation that you received in your business is the reason why you started it, is the same answer and problem solving skills that they're looking for you to do for them. Monetization requires authority, not necessarily algorithm. Honestly, if your content is good, the algorithm is going to reward you for that. LinkedIn itself says thought leadership influences 50 to 70% of B2B buying decisions. So clinical research is a trust-based industry. We need to make it more of a trust-based industry. I know that's something that a lot of us that's in the industry that really care about it. We are trying to make sure we are creating content, business models, or our business. We are whatever the community we're trying to reach out to. We're trying to ensure that we are exemplifying the definition of being trustworthy. So again, clinical research is a trust-based industry. You will not monetize without high signal insights, case studies, frameworks, commentary on systemic challenges, solutions rooted in real-world experience, and it's your authority that will drive the revenue, not just some random post. And I've talked about that and I preached about that for a while. Yeah, you do see some people that get on there and maybe talk about their feelings, but it's not your feelings that's going to get you paid. It's the content that is teaching people a problem. You're addressing a problem and you're teaching people on how to solve that problem. That's what's going to get you paid. That's how you can monetize on LinkedIn. No, you're never going to get monetized on expressing your feelings, not unless you are like some kind of a therapist. That's your specialty. But we're in the clinical research space. You're not a therapist. You're solving problems for people, tech vendors, or not tech vendors. Tech vendors are solving problems for site owners. And then as a site owner, you are in a community, say like with mine, that sponsors and CROs are looking to partner with because you have the demographics that is going to cater to the clinical trials that they want to or can award you with. I mean, there's a lot more layers that go into that. LinkedIn monetization for site owners has several layers. Here is a 5-layer visibility framework that is very powerful. Number 1, thought leadership is visibility. Number 2, institutional visibility. Let's say like nonprofit organizations, or if you are preparing for a webinar like with PecorNet, that is a huge, huge deal because at that point, which is something I'm working on right now, you are preparing a high level PowerPoint presentation to huge institutions, let's say like with Duke University is one of them, Meharry Medical School, Washington University, let's say, for example, Mayo Clinic, those and larger site networks. You can, with that type of visibility, even if you do not win the grant, you have still positioned yourself and your business in front of a whole multitude of B2B clients and individuals that can possibly look to you for your services. Right now, your name has gone before you, and that's the important thing. Your name, your business model, what you solve, your thinking process as a thought leader, that alone will help you generate revenue, correct? In due time. And if you're posting this kind of content on LinkedIn and you are creating LinkedIn newsletters talking about your area of expertise, because at that point you can do a more of a deeper dive on your area of expertise and what you're doing, they can actually go back and look at that and say, you know what? Yeah, they didn't win this grant, or at the time we didn't want to sponsor them, or at the time we didn't want to partner with them because we didn't feel like they were a strong enough candidate, or we had too many candidates to choose from. But now that we're seeing more of a digital footprint and you're growing as an individual, they're going to look at that and be able to reel it back in and say, you know what? Let's go ahead and get this partnership going. Let's go ahead and award them the grant. It's so many different layers and so many different steps that you have to take in order to monetize or position yourself to monetize on LinkedIn and land those multi-million-dollar partnerships or land those government contracts. And that's actually something I'm going to get into later on in the next couple of weeks as a minority business owner. woman minority business owner, the certification process that you will be going through, that I have gone through. I've gone through the first step, and the type of exposure you're going to receive, or the benefits that comes with being a minority business owner. Again, posting on LinkedIn and filling out that application so you can place yourself in another position, not just within the clinical research space, but now you're looking at state and federal levels, being able to bid on government contracts, whether it's state or federal. And those contracts they're pretty hefty contracts. So I'll be taking you through the process, and I'm growing in that direction. I'll take you through and let you know like the reality of it and what it takes to actually win a contract and getting your RFP together, all those types of things. So stay tuned for that particular webinar. So again, we're talking about monetization as a clinical research site owner, and or if you have a business, you're an entrepreneur, that's another way of monetizing. So again, in this market, in these days and times, you cannot necessarily just go with the traditional way of applying for a job as a clinical research professional entrepreneur. You're going to have to create ways of generating income from different sources. Will it take some time? Absolutely. It's not going to be an overnight process. And again, whenever it comes to getting these contracts together or approaching the B2B clients, that process is going to take a while because there's a lot of legal rope and tape that you have to go through. They have to go through to ensure that all their ducks are in a row, and you should be doing the same thing too. God forbid, if anybody decides to sue, you're going to be protected. So let's go back to the 5-layer visibility framework. Number one, we said thought leadership visibility. 2, institutional visibility. 3, enterprise vendor visibility. I'm going to talk about my Creo partnership. So that is going to create a whole new way of being visible to sponsors and CROs. Again, I created a service that I know that's much needed in this industry. And I know that it's going to be much needed it's going to attract the sponsors and CROs to me because, again, I've created something that's solving a pain point in this industry. I'm very passionate about it. I'm very passionate about education as well. So that partnership is huge. And it's very dear to my heart because I shared my vision with Creo, and they loved it, and we're moving forward. We have moved forward with the partnership, and again, that's creating more of a visibility and honestly another stream of revenue that you can create for yourself. So not only do you have the thought leadership that you can post on LinkedIn, institutional visibility, which, if you're preparing for a grant and positioning yourself, there's the webinar. There's another way of generating revenue for yourself, because at that point, if you have a good grant writer, they're going to be able to write the not just the letter of intent, but like the full proposal and actually implementing a salary for you. So that's another way to monetize. And then you can talk about that process on LinkedIn, and which inadvertently, in an indirect way, will help you monetize on LinkedIn, right? Okay. Number 4, global search visibility. Okay. I have a nonprofit organization. I also have my marketing team creating my nonprofit organization, my website, I Am Research and Wellness Foundation website. Now we're going to be in compliance with Google Ad Grants. I've talked about this before, but Google Ad Grants, if you have a legitimate nonprofit organization, you will be able to see $10,000 of in-kind grant, advertising grant that's not coming out of your pocket. So in some ways, that's money you're using to help you create ads. And that's something that that money is not coming out of your pocket. And then also the way you go about doing it is it's going to create like a lead. You can use that as for people to go to your nonprofit organization and maybe have them sign up for newsletters. Or if you have like a master class like this, you can create a masterclass 4-day series, have your marketing team to create the landing page, you get everything together. That can be used as a driving force for your ads, because whenever you create ads on the Google Ad Grant, it can't be anything paid, it has to be free. But there's a way around that. The way you do it is you create something like this, collect the emails, nurture your emails, the potential clients that are on your email list, and you lead them to like the main meat of your product. So this is all about LinkedIn. For example, I can use this to lead people into my LinkedIn Accelerator course. That's $497 for right now. That's another way to monetize too. What else? I have a free principal investigators course that is Google Ad Grant friendly, and it's also in compliance with actually posting that on my nonprofit organization website. Again, it's a free course that I created from scratch myself. And what you can do is, if you're looking to create your own pipeline of future PIs, that's something you can create. It doesn't have to be a course. It can be like a checklist or something like that. Again, that is something that you can help grow your email list, have them run the ads, and then you can funnel those individuals to the principal investigators course. And then also some principal investigators or sub investigators like NPs, PAs, they may want to start their own clinical research site. So again, talking about what you know in the clinical research industry, building content on LinkedIn, using the knowledge that you have to build courses, lead magnets, free master classes, and having your marketing team create those ads and funnel those people to your paid courses is another way to monetize, actually indirectly on LinkedIn too, because you can actually create like maybe 30-60 second video talking about your free course, or you can create master classes like this, and then whenever people sign up, you can funnel them to the paid course. Or let's say like with my PI foundation course, it's free. You can put that link in on your LinkedIn bio, not the bio, but like the heading. They have a place where you can put that link. And then whenever people click on your page and they're actually interested in becoming a PI or just want to know a little bit more about it, or again, they don't know anything about it, that's another way to use LinkedIn as a power source to get those individuals to sign up and lead them, funnel them to your main meat of the course. So you have different ways of monetization. And that leads me to the course plus program visibility, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Thinkific. So what you need to do is what I'm doing right now. Whenever you have these courses, you need to go live on LinkedIn at least once a month and give people some knowledge and understanding on what it takes to build a business or what it takes to monetize on LinkedIn as a clinical research site owner. And what you do is you go live on LinkedIn and YouTube. And then also you start creating evergreen content on YouTube on the various topics that you are an expert in. And then what you do is, I have Amazon KDP products as well. You list all those things in your description, and then your call to action, if it's becoming a site owner or teaching people how to become a site owner, that's going to be your strong call to action. But you can also put in everything else in the job description. So people, if they're not really wanting or not ready to become a site owner, then they can download an ebook, or they can go to your, let's say if you have a book on clinical research, they can go to your link in the description on YouTube, and it will take them to your products on KDP. So again, that's another way on how you can monetize on LinkedIn. You just have to figure out ways of doing it, and I'm giving you the ways of doing it. Also, the products that you create has to be products that are, again, solving a pain point. And the more you keep showing up on LinkedIn, the more people are going to see you as to me, the more people are going to look at you, and it's going to convert. You got visibility, you have your content, and then you got to make sure you are authentic with what you do. And then your authenticity will eventually convert over to paying clients. It will take time. And you also have to figure out what audience you're wanting to cater to. I'm very strong on catering to B2B, the B2B world, the B2B clients. They are the ones that are able to fund you appropriately. So if you might want to think about that. And again, whenever let's say I have created the 4-day LinkedIn masterclass for site owners. Now you can actually take the 4 days, bundle it into Thinkific. Thinkific is a learning management system that I use to create my courses, quizzes, and things like that. You can bundle that and then again, hand that off to your marketing team. And that can be a free lead magnet. Again, for the actual paid course. So give people something that they can actually look at and see you in action, see how you teach, see how you think, see how you solve problems for them. That way they're not just guessing and wondering, like, is this person really legit? Can they actually solve a problem before I even invest my money into them? So connecting all those layers, monetization becomes predictable, scalable. You can diversify your ways of monetizing, and it actually can become international. Let's talk about the offer. And I alluded to this a few minutes ago. Take a drink. Whenever you have an offer, first of all, you need to make sure you know who you are catering to. You need to make sure you know your worth. How much time have you put into creating your offer? How much do you want to charge for your offer? Don't let anyone tell you you're charging too much, because I guarantee you they're not your audience. They're not your people. It takes a lot of time and effort to create any offer. And as long as it's a strong offer and it's providing a transformation that's solving a pain point, you can price it as to whatever you want to price it at. But if you do not have a clear call to action, and if it's not clear, you're not going to monetize. After opening up my business in 2023, July, that's whatever I started. I actually wanted to start with a 6-month program that flopped. And then in 2025, this year, I actually landed 3 clients. And that was basically based upon helping them get their resume on point to land roles in the clinical research industry, and to help them feel more confident during the interview process, those types of things. But I started to notice I'm more stronger in the entrepreneurial side of things. And so I started to really just build my content and build my business and my offers around entrepreneurial work and the journey of an entrepreneur and what it takes to be an entrepreneur in the clinical research space as a site owner, and the things you need to know. I feel like, this is my opinion, this is where a lot of clinical research professionals kind of fail at, especially if they're looking to monetize on LinkedIn. Some of them are not using LinkedIn appropriately, so they can monetize. Now, I will say LinkedIn is not going to, this is not going to be some kind of magic fairy tale. You monetize, you create this beautiful offer. You think it's beautiful. You launch it, crickets, right? That happens to a lot of us, including myself. At that point, you have to go back to the drawing board and say, what about my offer? What's not clicking? What am I doing that's not right? Or is who you're speaking to, if you're wanting to speak to B2B clients, but your language is B2B, B2C clients, then the messaging is off. So you have to go back and look and see again who you're wanting to cater to. If you're wanting to cater to B2C clients, then your language should be speaking to B2C clients. If you're wanting to cater to B2B clients, your language should speak the language of B2B clients. Okay, so LinkedIn is not going to magically monetize you. You monetize when your audience, who you help, what problem you solve, how do you create those results? That's the transformation process I talked about. Why is your solution needed? And what are they actually buying? Are they buying the convenience? Are they buying the transformation? Are they buying the fact that you have a turnkey program? Because a lot of times with your B2B clients, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a turnkey program to where they don't have to go running all over the place looking for the solutions and the answers. You have it right there in your program that's going to solve their problem. And they're looking for a strong transformation, right? That's with anything that you buy. Let's say, for instance, if you're wanting to buy, I don't know, a protein shake, and you're thinking the protein shake, if you work out, right, they're claiming that it's going to help you build muscle. Well, if it doesn't have the right ingredients to help you build the muscle, then that product, you're not going to want to buy it because it's not providing the transformation you thought you were going to get after investing in that product. So again, whenever you create your products, make sure that you're on the other side of the fence and you're thinking to yourself, okay, if I were my customer and I'm looking at this vendor, have they created something that's going to provide a transformation like they say it's going to provide? And what are the results? What am I going to get out of it? What are the benefits? How is it going to build my business? How are you going to help convenience the B2B clients? What kind of convenience model have you created out of your services? It has to scream convenience. It has to scream, you know what? They can ease their employees into your training program, and you're going to be able to train those employees the way you say you're going to train, because now you have exerted and positioned yourself as an educator. And that's the offer that you said you created. That's the offer that they're looking to buy into you, to buy your offer. So they don't have to worry about it. That's the thing. They don't want to have to worry about certain things. And then also it may be costly for them to do it on their own. But if they reach out to you, you may help them reduce their costs by a certain percentage. So that's another thing that you need to think about whenever you are creating your services. How are you able to reduce their cost? And how are you able to, implement a system that was difficult maybe for them to implement, or you've seen the industry, it was difficult to implement, but now you have made it a way to scream like, oh, you know what? Her implementation is very easy, and I want to invest in your services, in our products. And whenever you think about monetization, you have to, I know some people get on the social media page and they just cannot figure out why people are charging whatever. Well, it's their business. You don't go to Louis Vuitton and question them as to why they're charging what they're charging. And you definitely don't go to Rolls Royce and ask them why they're charging their millions or six figures, whatever they're charging for their vehicles. So as a site owner, as an entrepreneur, a business owner, you have to set prices for your services. You're no different than the other bigger companies. You're no different from Toyota. You're no different from Microsoft. You're no different from any other airlines going on flights. You're no different than, let's say you're wanting to take a trip to the Bahamas, the resorts. They charge because it's a business. So you are a business and you have to create ways of generating money so you can live too. The people that are complaining about paying you, they're not your people. don't worry about them, because a lot of times some people want something for nothing. They want something that is free. And what they're going to do is suck up your time and energy and run off with it and probably pretend like they created the services themselves. You have to make people in a way respect you as a business owner and respect what you have to offer and the prices that you put on your offer. Either you're going to pay it or you don't, so that's another thing that you have to convey to your and usually if you're dealing with B2B clients, they already have a budget set on what they're going to pay you anyway. I'm sure there's a going back and forth and bidding or whatever. So again, and whenever I talk about monetization, say for instance, if you have, and you're working with B2B clients, it's really not that big of a deal to charge $50K. It's not that big of a deal to charge $100K. It's not that big of a deal to charge $10,000 because whenever you look at the budgets in the clinical research industry and look at what they're spending, that's literally a drop in the bucket. So if you have a real tight offer and it's very strong and you're looking to network and build partnerships with the bigger institutions, you need to think about how you're going to price your packages, your offers, and honestly, you need to create tiers. So the bigger the institution, well, the bigger probably the pricing package will be. And if it's a smaller institution, well, you're going to have a price package for them. And even if it's a smaller institution, you're going to have a price package for them as well. I think it's great to have maybe 3 tiers, but that's something that you need to figure out on your own based upon what you have to offer. And it's good to do what a market analysis and see what you need to be charging, and to see what you need to be charging and to see what your competitors are charging too. So you probably want to be somewhere in the middle. And if you can't find a product or service that is exactly like yours, well, you can probably go on the internet and find something that's similar and see how much they priced it and kind of go along with that. Also, a lot of times with your enterprise companies, they don't actually list their prices on their website. They actually have a discovery call and then they talk about the prices then. So that's whenever at that point you have leveled up in your career, because you don't put those kind of prices on your website, because your packaging is going to be different for different clients that you're serving, because their needs are going to be different. Let's see here. So here's the real truth. Monetization, clinical research professionals, it is not fast. Please don't let anybody tell you that it is fast. It takes a lot of relationship building. It takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of you refining your offer and seeing what's working, what's not. And then at that point, once you begin to, let's say, give a demo to your B2B client, then that process alone will take some time to solidify the contract. Because again, if they're that big of a company, you're not going to be able to solidify a contract within 30 days. At least that's not my experience. It takes a while because again, you have to build up that rapport and build up relationships with these B2B institutions or clients. It's the relationships that's going to get you to the monetization part, not a sprint. This is a marathon that you are working on, so you need to treat it as such. It's not easy and it's not influence based, but what you can do, you can produce or have clients that are going to be willing to pay you, again, $35K, $100K for corporate clients, $500K for grant alignments. Even, let's see, I've seen government contracts that get into the billions, multi-year sponsorships, physician partnerships, site ownership opportunities, invitation from national networks, it's a career transformation. You put in the work, the grit and the grind. You're going to fail. You might as well get that in your head. You're going to fail, but it's the failures that you're going to learn from. And then you'll be able to tweak your offer along the way, refine it so you can start winning in this industry. Yes, it's tough. It's very tough. And it's tough for me. Don't let anybody lie to you, or don't allow anybody to let them perceive themselves as this is an easy process, because I'm going to tell you that it's not, but it is doable with perseverance. And you have to know that you are that it person. That's not being cocky. That's not having an ego. That's having confidence within yourself that you know that you're needed. Somebody needs you for your offers. You have to start acting like you're needed. I'm needed. I know that I am. And you also have to let people know that you're in it to help them, not just yourself. You're in it to help them. Whenever you have a purpose in life and you have services that you offer, you get on your LinkedIn, YouTube, you talk about what you have learned in the process, not giving away every little single thing. And you're still some way, somehow, shape, or form, you're helping people. Whenever you help people, the money will come. It will not be overnight, but it will come. But you have to position yourself and get your finances in order, get your ducks in a row, get your packages, your services, get that all lined up and button up. So whenever the time comes for you to service your B2B clients, you're going to be ready. You're never going to be 100% ready to service your clients, but at least you'll be at least 90% after doing all the hard work behind the scenes. So again, if you are looking to start your own clinical research site, actually, right here, email me at iam4health@gmail.com. And also sponsors, CROs, vendors, tech vendors. If you're looking to sponsor CSRS and I Am Research and Wellness Foundation, we are looking to partner with you. And again, please email me at iam4health@gmail.com. Okay. And you guys, put your comments in the comment section. I want to see what you're talking about. I want to see what questions you have. So today is the last day of, it was from November, but I'm wrapping up today's 4-day series. Again, I truly enjoy going live on LinkedIn and YouTube. And in the future, I'm working on creating educational content that's going to, again, speak to my B2B clients, because I do have a problem. I have services I have to offer, and I want to solve those problems and, create a better life, not only for myself, but for the partnerships that I have too. So again, there's that visibility and exposure. And what I find very important is to wrap things all up in a nutshell. Whenever you, again, position yourself as a SME, the monetization, it will come. And then the B2B clients are going to see that you are genuine about what you're doing. And they're going to want to help join forces with you, if you will, especially if you're in an untapped market. You need to position it and talk about how, hey, you are not known in this area. Like Creo is not known in this Sikeston, Missouri, Southeast Missouri. Now, Wash U in St. Louis, I know they're known there, but like in the Boot Hill in the country, nobody knows about Creo. So that's another reason why I thought it was very important for me to, speak to them, build that relationship with them, have that partnership. And again, the exposing my people to Creo and vice versa is very, very important to me, because again, the education is lacking. Of course, I'm solving it. And it's going to create like a whole new visibility for both companies. And but yeah, so if you're looking to start your own business, or if you're in the clinical research space, watch all the recordings. And then if you are looking to start a research site, again, I will say it one more time for the people in the back. Email me at iam4health@gmail.com. And I will talk to you guys later. Ciao.